What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another NBA Rundown. Today, NBA Rundown Wimbledon edition, as we do not have a game tonight. So, we're going to talk about what's going on in the NBA, and then we're going to shift over into some tennis and talk about the tournament going on at the All England Lawn and Tennis Club. And that's the Wimbledon tournament, and there will be some matches this weekend that we will be previewing. I have AP with me here today. AP, how we doing?
Hey, we're doing good, man. Coming off another phenomenal night. JSU and Big T, they did a showdown video yesterday. Absolutely nailed the slate, which you love to see. And then I was on the Up to Lock show, premium show, and gave once we officially got that Trey Young news, which is what we were waiting for,
Mm-hmm.
gave like a little, 1 to 2 minute kind of preview of my thoughts. And it was a good night. A lot of member wins.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And obviously, I just asked, and I should have known off the top of my head, Brooke Lopez in the captain was the winning spot. And what a night for
Yeah.
him. Um, we were watching it, so we had Keg Live last night on the Run for Best channel. It was a lot of fun, mainly because most of our bets won. I think we went 5 of 6 on the bets that we gave out. The one that we missed was the Clint Capella double double, and I thought that directly correlated with Brooke Lopez's ability to get off because Okongwu is a wonderful talent, and I think he will do quite well in this league. He looked a little small to be guarding Lopez. Lopez got loose in the middle, and there wasn't really a lot they can do. Capella played only 23 minutes. Obviously, still bothered by his eye. What did you make of obviously Brooke Lopez's great performance, and what do we expect from Capella going forward?
Yeah, Brooke Lopez was kind of that key guy. He was in the captain spot, and it was something that we talked about that JSU and Big T talked about on their show. I mentioned it just I thought he was the guy that could get overlooked. I thought a lot of people could look at Bobby Portis, who also had an awesome night. But I personally thought Brooke Lopez was kind of the key to the slate. However, I did not get him at the captain spot. I
Mm-hmm.
put him in. I basically thought you needed Middleton or Drew Holiday in at the captain spot. But the shipper, Big T had another big night, 30K night for him. Shout out to Big T. It was Lopez in the captain, Middleton, Drew, Collins, Bogdanovich, and Portis. One thing that we all said is you had to have Middleton, you had to have Holiday, and I believe you had to have Big Bogdanovich. And then I know those guys were high on Portis. But I think, the one thing that made that build so unique is if people had Lopez, they might not have had Bobby Portis, which was kind of the dilemma that I was dealing with. And I only ran a couple builds. So I did not get those two connected. And I went the Capella route, which was kind of the safer route, probably the
Mm-hmm.
more chalkier route. And that's you just got to find ways to get different in showdown, and these guys are doing it each and every night, and it's just you love to see it. Let me real quick go over. We had some monster wins. Jay Olson 36 took down 12K on FanDuel. Shout out to you. We also had Kathy B took down 1100 off of 25 bucks on DraftKings. Had more members. Tom Y Rich. Actually, that's probably his last name. I was reading this and I'm like, Tom. At first, I read it as Tom We're Rich, but I think it's probably just his last name. Sweet last name to have. Obviously, Big T. We could honestly go down and talk about all the members who won for quite some time, but honestly, phenomenal game. One thing we also talked about was just like how the Bucks could take it to them and potentially blow them out even without Giannis, and
Yeah.
that's kind of what we saw happen, especially in the first quarter.
Yeah, a couple interesting things I wanted to touch on there with that you mentioned. Surprised to hear that John Collins was in the winning spot on Hawks Twitter and Hawks Reddit. They turned on that man real quick. They all wanted to give him a max contract after Game 4, and they were pretty upset with his performance last night. Were you surprised that he was unable to get things done last night? And obviously, what was kind of a showcase game for him?
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, not really surprised. With Giannis out there, you're missing a lot of size in the paint. and a good defender, obviously. I just no, I don't think Bobby Portis can replicate that. Now, what Bobby Portis does, though, is on the offensive end, he stretches the court a little bit more. But from a defensive standpoint, it kind of makes sense that Collins had a better game for sure.
Yeah. So that's very interesting. I'm looking at tomorrow's night's game. Oh, I lost AP, but I'll bring him right back. Hopefully, he comes right back. Probably some internet issues there. I'm looking at tomorrow night's game. It's a -2.5 for the Atlanta Hawks. I kind of think that they win Game 6. I think that we will get much better performances from some of those role players. AP, just to catch you up, I'm just starting to preview Game 6
I
of Tad.
figured that. I X'd out
Oh,
of the
okay.
box.
Yeah, I was just worried maybe we lost your internet, but good to have you
No,
going
we're good.
forward. I was just looking forward to Game 6, -2.5 for the Hawks. I kind of feel like the Hawks bounce back. We talked about it before we went on. Bucks got off to a huge lead, right? But if you take out those first 2 or 3 minutes where they got out to 16-4, the game was pretty even for like the next 46 minutes. And I think that once they get back to Atlanta, this changes. I think we'll get better performances, and I don't know if we can count on Middleton and Holiday being as absolutely effective as they were last evening. Another thing with this Bucks team, haven't they kind of shown this after big wins? They tend to lit up a little. So I would not be surprised. And first of all, this is not going to be an official pick. We will be back with Tyler tomorrow. Give me some more time. Give me one more night to sleep on it. And then we'll give the official play tomorrow. But right now, I'm leaning towards taking Atlanta tomorrow night. What are you thinking about the game tomorrow night and the Hawks being -2.5?
Yeah, I actually I'm with you, and I want to go out and make a wager that Tyler's probably on the Hawks here too, knowing him. But yeah, I like the Hawks -2.5. I mean, honestly, it seems like we could get Trey Young back before Giannis, right? Or do you
Oh,
think they're both going to
definitely.
be out? Okay,
Definitely.
yeah.
I think
So
Trey Young's like a possibility for sure. Giannis. So when Title was on yesterday, they were seeing maybe he would come back for Game 7. That was the idea. And then today I was reading that it might not be until the finals if they were to make it. So I think Giannis. I don't think we'll get Giannis on Saturday night, no matter what. Trey, I've been kind of expecting, so this must be much worse than. I mean, and the other thing is, if he goes out there hurt like Harden did in that first game, remember the Game 6 where Harden went out there and he was just a liability right off the bat. It could be an issue if he's not 100%. But right now, I'm handicapping it as if Trey will play and no Giannis. But you know what really throws me off is Capella, because he's obviously going to play, but he was not himself last night. I think he only got like 4 rebounds.
yeah, yeah, that's a big question mark. But I mean, they don't. I mean, they can win games without Capella. Capella's in there. I think Capella is more important if Giannis is out there on the court. They want someone as kind of that rim protector, someone they can lean on the defensive end. I don't know if they necessarily need Capella, in a game 6 to even things up, assuming Giannis is out. So
Right.
that's just kind of my take. I think we probably see a similar rotation to what we saw, but hopefully we get Trey Young back.
Yeah, so we'll see how that one goes. Obviously, Tyler and I will give you the full breakdown when the props are out tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll have some news, but my guess is that you're not going to know until closer to the Up to Lock show that you guys do on the Run Pure Sports YouTube channel. I don't think that we'll know at this time tomorrow morning, so that's going to be tough. But my initial lean here is that the Hawks bounce back and then the Bucks grab Game 7 at home. These teams, Middleton and especially, just seems to be so much better at home. And then of course the role players. Let's talk about the Phoenix Suns real quick. What did you think of their victory, and do you think that they are the deserved favorite to win the title now?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to think that. And yeah, it's how great would it be for Chris Paul, a guy that, arguably one of the better or best, one of the guys that's just, it's surprising he doesn't have a championship. And yeah, so I mean, just crazy. I think back to the Steve Nash days, wasn't able to get it done with the Suns. Chris Paul, I was kind of thinking would be the same type of guy, come to the Suns. They look good, get to the playoffs, but they don't have enough to get it done. hasn't been the case. They've absolutely been getting it done. You got to think with depending on the health of Giannis, and then what happens with the Hawks. I mean, the Hawks winning two straight against the Bucks just seems like a very tall task. It does seem like it's setting up to be a Bucks Suns final, which I think would be a ton of fun. Hopefully, we get Giannis back. Otherwise, I mean, yeah, I definitely have the Suns as a favorite in this series.
Yeah, they're about minus 175 right now to win the title. With Giannis's injury, that does make sense. The Hawks rocketed up to like plus 1,200 to win the title there. Maybe a little bit of value there. So it should be a lot of fun. One other interesting thing I was reading this morning. So if the Bucks win tomorrow night, the finals will start on Tuesday. If they do not, the finals will start on Thursday. So that's something to keep in mind. Did you want to touch on anything else going on in the NBA right now, or did you want to transfer over to Wimbledon?
Yeah, I mean, just we're gonna have. So there's no game tonight. We'll have,
Right.
tomorrow's the third. I, like all of you guys, will probably be partying, but all of our content's gonna be up. And the core plays, the Showdown playbook makes it very easy to go on there, build a lineup, feel very good about it, and you're gonna, have a great chance to ship. We've seen it each and every night. I mean, one of the rules that I personally make, I disagree with Big T all the time, but I'm always playing his core as a nice hedge because he just ships these showdown slates so often. So get in there, play the core plays. I don't think you're going to regret it at all. It just seems like our whole team is seeing things very well right now.
All right. Well, let's talk about some Wimbledon that's going on tomorrow. So first of all, I want to give a fair warning to
Hey,
everybody.
Brett,
Yeah,
we should. All right, we got Matty Ice in the chat. He's a tennis guy. Matty Ice, you should hop on, man. I don't know
I'll
if you're
send
working or what you're
I'll send him
doing,
a
but
link right now and see if he
send him a
can
link. See if we can
see
get
if he
Matty
can
Ice
make
on
it.
here.
Um, yeah, I will send Matty Ice a link right now. While I'm figuring out how to do that, why don't I get your quick thoughts on the tournament so far, and let me know what you're thinking. Obviously, a pretty exciting morning here. Ons Jabeur getting a nice victory over Garbine Muguruza, and I just saw Djokovic advanced as well. What are your general thoughts on the tournament so far?
Yeah, I mean, Djokovic has. I mean, gosh, you got to like his chances to get back. I mean, his draw looks very favorable now, and he's been. He dropped that first set in his very first match. Since then, I don't think he's dropped a set, unless he did to Kobla today. No, the last set was a tie break, which he won. He just looks like he's cruising. Another guy, Federer. I was a little nervous in that first match that he had. Who was that was taking it to him? He was outplaying him. I got to
It
go
was
back and look.
Adrian Manarino.
Yeah, he was owning him until Manarino went down, slipped, which has been a constant theme at Wimbledon this year in the grass. And part of that could be like these guys haven't played. These guys and gals haven't played much on grass at all, so could just be getting used to that surface again. Who knows? But I know that's a popular topic on Twitter. Andy Murray has been a surprise for me. I
Mm-hmm.
he just slid in, and then he won. He won two matches, and then he gets a tough. His next match is tough. Is that today or
Yeah,
yeah?
that's
It's later
today. Why don't
today.
we let's go into that one right now? So he's playing Denis Shapovalov, and right now Shapovalov is a big favorite. It's minus 345, -5 here on the game spread, and the total's 38. I think that as much as I like Shapovalov, doesn't that price seem a little high? Are you surprised? I mean, I faded Murray round one. I thought he looked pretty good against Basel.
I mean, all right. There's a couple guys where I'm just like, man, you just can't count them out.
Right.
Nick Kyrgios is one of those guys. Like he
Yeah.
just is a pain to play against. I think Murray is just another one of those guys. British guy, obviously. Get a couple wins under his belt. That's got to boost the confidence and help a guy like that just find some old form. So I'm with you. Like I don't know if I could actually like take him to upset here, but I do agree with you that you got to lay a little too much against a guy like Andy Murray. So is there? I'm not like a. I don't make a lot of bets on tennis. I just love watching Wimbledon. I love playing it with DFS. What do you do in situations like that where you're not feeling good about the upset, but you think it's going to stay close?
Yeah, I mean, you either take. I agree with you here. Maybe a little sprinkle on the plus 264, but I grab the plus 5 and the over 38. I think they actually correlate pretty well. Um, so I would look at both those there. Maybe the over is the safest one there if Murray does end up jumping out of there. But if you're betting the over there at 38, you're essentially assuming that it just goes more than 3 sets. I think that's pretty safe. I think that Murray will definitely get one, and I've been quite impressed. I didn't think he was going to be able to come back, and play so well. So I do like the over 38 there, and I think the plus 5 isn't a bad look either. So that should be a lot of fun. In fact, I think I'll go ahead and put that over in right now. That
So
should be a fun one.
all right. So going back to the Canadian, he got a walkover for his last match. How do
Mhm.
you think that impacts him? Headed into tonight. I mean, do you think that benefits Murray since he's had the? I mean, I don't think either guy. Like, I don't think Murray's going to be like tired yet. I mean, 2 5-set matches
Yeah.
in a row, I believe. So you never know. But do you think that's a knock to him or?
Yeah, that's why actually I decided to just went to go for the over 38 rather than the plus 5. And the idea is that it would suck if it was really close the whole time, and then Murray, tires out and takes a breadstick there in set 5, right, and ruins our set spread there. I do definitely think it's going to be an issue here. Matty Ice jumping in saying double faults are the concern with Chapo. His serve's been rubbish. I think if he serves well, he murders him. That's a big if. Yeah, I mean, and it's beautiful as that one-handed backhand is. It can get kind of pressured on the low grass, and Murray might be the one to do that. I think that Murray might have some advantages in the backhand rise where Shapovalov usually is able to at least hang there. So that'll be really interesting there. So I do like the over 38. I'd like to see what Matty Ice, if you want to jump in there and see if you agree with the over 38. So that will be the last match of the day. Korda versus Evans is on right now. I didn't really have
Man,
a way to get involved.
I was hoping the show would have if we could have started. I love this Sebastian Corda just is playing out of his mind. He's up a set right now.
Yeah.
I think it was close to even money back when before this match. So that was a play I liked. Obviously, it's already started, but
Yeah.
you could probably live bet it. I don't know what the odds are. But
Sebastian
I
Korda
mean
right
that
now is
kid.
minus 167.
Okay. So I mean, he gets so let's just say looking at this side of the bracket, he would have another tough matchup, but one that I don't know. I mean, he would face Karen. How do you say his last name? I'm
Hashanov.
so bad. Yeah. So I
Hashanov,
mean,
yeah.
let's just say Porter gets through. Like, how far do you think he could go? On this side of the draw. Obviously, eventually, everyone on this side of the draw is going to be facing the Joker, which I would not. I mean, I think he's just going to cruise over everyone
Yeah.
on this side of the draw. But how far do you see? What kind of upside do you have for Sebastian the Kid Corda?
Yeah, let me jump back in. Now fair warning here. I do a lot more of the WTA than the men's, but it looks like so Korda will play Hashanov the next round. I think that's probably where his road ends. So I was big on Hashanov going to the tournament. He was not playing well going into the tournament either, though. So that lowered his odds, though. But hey, it was kind of like I expected. With that game, it can just round into form so quickly. And I didn't discount the bad form going into it just because of like you said, they didn't play a grass season at all in 2020. So a lot of them first time since 2019. I didn't really know how much, just 2 weeks of tournaments was really going to indicate it. So even if Corda, is able to hold on here, which I probably think he will, I think he probably ends next round against Hashanov. I probably like him there, and I'd be curious to see what the books line it at. I think that they'd probably make Hashanov like minus 180, minus 200.
Gotcha. Yeah, it makes sense. You know, one bet I do like on the men's side. I mean, it might be kind of a square take, but uh, Rogers just looked good. I mean, maybe a tougher match. Like if he gets past his next guy, you got to think his road to winning. The quarter number three, or no, number four. He's plus 200 to
Hmm.
win his quarter. I kind of like that. I think there are some tough paths there, but. I don't know. I mean, Roger doesn't have too many opportunities left to get going. He's looked good in his last couple of matches. Looked shaky out on the first one though, but once he gets
Yeah.
going, once he gets in a groove, I feel like he's pretty safe.
Yeah, I feel like that he will get past Nori, who's actually been playing well. I don't want to like discount him. Then he'll play the winner of Sonego and Duckworth, which we'll talk about. I'm preferring Sonego there, and then after that to win the quarter, I believe he's going to have to face either Silic or Medvedev, and I think that is where he's going to get in trouble. I love the way that Medvedev's game translates to clay, and we know that, of course, that Silic has had success here on the grass as well. Even though he's an older player, it hasn't been doing as well. So, unfortunately, I don't know if he'll win the quarter. So, I do agree that he looked good against Gasquet, but he's just traditionally killed Gasquet, and I just felt like that was like I didn't really take that much about it. I was actually really worried about his performance against Manarino, which is why I think that I'll be fading Roger once we get to the either the Medvedev or Silic, who I think that will be there. But who knows, right? Because it's always tough. So we'll see how that one turns out. Just as a quick thought, so Federer is minus 244 against Nori tomorrow, minus 4 with a total of 38 and 5, 38.5. Do you think that Roger rolls there and covers the -4?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of a Roger Federer homer too.
Oh, he's my
So
favorite player. Like, even if Djokovic gets better stats, just off the aesthetics, I'll always say that Roger's better,
the
regardless of the numbers.
the other number I was looking at was Krygos winning quarter three.
Hmm.
I liked his comments coming into it. He hadn't left his home country. Like this was the first time leaving, and he's like, "I'm treating this as a vacation. I'm going to be
Yeah.
relaxed. I don't really care what happens." For a guy like him, like Matt, like he has nothing to lose, and he always plays like that too. But usually he just gets tilted, starts yelling at the fans, which we saw in his first match. But man, he's if he gets a win over uh, I'll butcher all of these names,
Just call him
but
FAA. It's
FA,
Aju
the
Alice
Canadian, this kid's
Alisame or
good.
something.
I
But
mean, he's
yeah.
good, but Grygos is almost even money against him, and
Yeah.
a little more experience. I think that's a match that could go the distance and be a fun one. But I got Nick Krygos winning, and then once he wins, I don't know. I think the path there is, I think he can stay competitive against these other guys. Um, he's got Zverev, right? Is that how you say his name?
Zverev. Yeah, he'll have Zverev next.
Zverev.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming he's getting
He,
past. He's -1,000 against Taylor Fritz tomorrow.
yeah. I mean,
So,
he's a guy that always like lets down. I feel like, especially at Wimbledon, he always drops a set. I feel like Krygos could get past him, and then outside of him, is it the Italian that might, or no? He just have
Berrettini.
to win two matches, right, to win his quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not very good at betting tennis. I love it, and DFS it's a ton of fun. Susie kills
Hmm.
it.
Yeah, she's
But
doing
man,
great.
I think the Joker. I mean the path is easy for him, and I just for as a fan, I'm hoping Roger can pull out one more and just make it deep to make things interesting next week. That's kind of what I'm rooting for.
Yeah, I think it would be fantastic. Um, Yeah, Matty Ice jumping in here. Similar to Andy, I think playing center court will help Fed. Court seems to be playing slower. I heard Kyrgios complaining about it yesterday. Yeah, he was complaining. He's quite the character. I might go a little opposite with you here today, and unfortunately, the market agrees with me here. So I think the value might be gone But when it was even, I actually liked FAA to advance here. Um, he's just been playing so fantastic lately, and it's like it seems like he wins every match except for finals. So he's FAA has this weird mental thing. I think he's 0-8 in finals now, which is crazy for a player of his talent. But I wouldn't be surprised if he got past Kyrgios. One thing about Kyrgios is he will shut it down, like you said. It is kind of cool that he doesn't care, but at the same time, like he doesn't care, and I do worry about him when he gets against some mental. Um,
I got you.
Toughness here that FAA would provide. But at the same time, he does he has the potential to win the whole title. Like for example, I would say I like FAA in this next match, but I don't think that he can win Wimbledon. I think that
Right.
Kyrgios could win Wimbledon, right? I mean, I still think he can. He has the most aces so far. I think he has the fastest serve of the tournament so far, and actually, it's a lot of fun. He's playing some doubles with Venus Williams right now, which is really cool because she's always one of my favorites as well growing up. So that's a good
I
thing
mean,
they've got
that's
going on.
your point on the serve is important. Like that's huge because that's I was a big Andy Roddick guy, and that's
Yeah,
like what always that's what he leaned on at Wimbledon was his big serve.
yeah.
And so yeah, I mean that's if Krygo if he can get that going or keep it going, then yeah. But it's I don't know. I mean, I think you'd probably agree that the Joker is the guy to beat, right? Like he
Oh yeah, I mean
just,
it's by
I
far
mean,
like
it's
we were joking around when we did our preview that we could just the pod could have been 2 minutes long. Like bet Djokovic is going to win the whole tournament, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. I really see. I really find it hard to believe. But you know what? If you were to pick someone like that, he would not want to play in the final. It would be Kyrgios because Kyrgios
yeah,
at his
yeah.
top level can could actually give him problems, right? I would say his least favorite opponents would be Kyrgios and then Medvedev. Although I think Medvedev's on the same side they would meet earlier, um, and maybe
Yeah.
Roger third, but I don't know if
Matty Ice,
Roger
you
at
should
this
get on
age.
here, man. You're probably more well. I'm going to be hitting. So, like, Susie's birthday is tomorrow. Make sure to wish her a happy birthday, everyone. But so I'm going to be tackling the playbook on the third. And it does get tougher with tennis. I always like the first week. The second
Yeah,
week kind of sucks. But we'll have that content out. I'm sure I'm going to be hitting Matty Ice up, though, just because it's, I've probably been sweating golf more than tennis this week. But I'm always got it up. I'm always watching it, and yeah, Wimbledon just one of those events. It's just a ton of fun.
yeah, it's so great. Jay was teasing me about going to bed so early last night because I'm always going to bed like as soon as the NBA games end. But good thing is I'm up by like 6 or 7. I can catch most of the matches, and this is really cool on ESPN. So even when I miss them, like Ostapenko, Kasatkina yesterday, I woke up a little late. I was able to catch the whole replay on ESPN Plus. So that's a good thing that they've got going on there as well. Let me ask you about a couple other matches for tomorrow. This one I actually don't have a play on, and so if Maddie wants to jump in the chat, and maybe I don't know if we'll be able to jump on today, but I'll try and connect with him, and we'll get him on here to talk. Hubie Hercox and Alexander Bublik are playing tomorrow. Bublik's plus 102. In that interview you were mentioning with Kyrgios, he mentioned Bublik as one of the guys that's kind of got that I don't know the right way to put it. Devil may care. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but he's kind of got that old school McEnroe style attitude as well. He's going against a really good player there in Hubie Hercox. I actually didn't want to get involved. I thought that this is lined pretty evenly, and I think it's right. Have you watched
I
either of these
mean,
players?
well, I mean, so he swept Dimitrov, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty big.
Hmm.
But I mean, Dimitrov, he's not necessarily. He's a more hard court and clay guy, right?
Yeah, and he's also kind of past it. He had that baby fed thing in his early 20s, and he never really made it past, being in the top five. Like he's been consistently like a top 10, top 15, top 20 player. Never really able to push it much farther. So
I mean, I mean, he hasn't dropped a set, so
yeah,
that's all. Yeah, I mean, that's a good sign. And the American, or no, I'm looking at Hercrax. Is that how you say his name too?
yeah,
God, good thing we don't do shows regularly. Like, if I was doing a Wimbledon show with Holden, I would be getting so much shit right now because I can name maybe like a third or maybe a fifth of these guys
Well,
and gals, but um, he hasn't dropped a set either. So you got two guys that are coming into this, playing really good. And I'm not super familiar with Bublik like in his game, so
mm,
I don't really have a ton to add on him.
he's he's got the big serve, right? I mean, he's got like the traditional powerhouse game. Obviously, fits really well here. Yeah. So Matty Ice says he's in the car today. So thank you for hanging out and jumping in the chat. And we'll get a hold of you, and hopefully we'll get you on next week because I only have two NBA shows. So I'd love to supplement it with some Wimbledon content for all the Run Pure supporters. Let's jump over to the women's side. So this is more of my specialty here. And I have more takes on this at all. I see Elise Mertens playing Madison Keys right now. I always like Madison Keys to do well in the slams. I took her to win her quarter. We'll see if she's able to overcome Elise. But I don't have a lean there because Elise Mertens is so good against players who are not in the top 10, so that's why I stayed away from it. Then we'll have Ash Barty versus Katerina Siniakova, who is a very streaky player, could get hot and win it all, but Barty, even though she's not 100%, I think this line's right. She's minus 455, minus 5, and the total's 20 there. Maybe an over, but otherwise I didn't get involved. Have you watched Ash Barty at all this year? Because her game's tailor made for grass, but she's not really had the success here. Like everyone thought her first slam would be Wimbledon, and it ended up being the French Open.
Yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with her game, but I haven't seen her play
Okay.
this year at all.
Yeah, well, yeah, she
But I mean,
hasn't played much.
so like, do you think she could get upset? Is that kind of what you're saying? Or I mean, it's just going to be a
Yeah,
closer match.
you can never count out Siniakova because when she red lines, she could beat anybody. But I think this is line right. I mean, it's minus 455, which gives Ash Barty like an
Uh,
17 to 18% chance to lose. I think that's about right. Um, but
in
maybe an
DFS,
over.
that's huge because I mean, Sivyakova is 5,200, so
Yeah.
that frees up finding that key value when we have 16 matches tomorrow on the slate. Finding that key value is always a huge help when it comes to building your lineups.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I think it's like weird. Like I thought it's been split so far this week. Where 2 days I felt there was so much value on the card, but then it was like, what's the point? Because I didn't like any of the spend ups. And then the other days I felt that the card was so top heavy, and I couldn't find enough value to jam in all the players I've wanted this week. So, and Susie's doing great. And talk about Bublik. I actually had a build that was super close to hers, but I left Bublik off, and that ended up being the winning. It wasn't Susie's.
Oh,
It was a member that won it, the 11K, and
gotcha.
that's the one place where my build was different. Was leaving Bublik out, so I can't make that mistake, especially the way he's been serving. Here's one that I'm thinking about getting involved in. It's the French Open champion Krejcikova, and she's playing against the Latvian Sevastova. She's minus 150 tomorrow, taking a little money, but I think that's. I think that move is warranted. We were wondering how her game was going to translate to the grass straight off the clay win, but I actually thought that her game was a little more suited for grass. And like Ash Barty, I was surprised that she won the French as her breakthrough slam. That wasn't what I expected. Have you watched either of these young women play? Obviously, Krejcikova, if you saw the French Open final, you saw it's a good performance from her.
Yeah, I mean, she's like I'm looking at her on DraftKings. She's only like 8,100.
Yeah.
So I mean, um, yeah. So what'd you say the odds are in that match?
She's minus 152 right now. I think she
150.
opened at
Okay,
like
so that's
minus
that's why she's
130, minus 140. She's taking a little bit of money.
okay. Gotcha. So I mean, is she someone you like? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I was actually thinking of betting it even at minus 150. Yeah, I can't wait to talk about that one too, Maddie. Yeah, even at minus 150, I like Barbara here or Barbora. I don't know how they pronounce the first names differently. And
Yeah.
also in defensive of your pronunciations, AP, I watch it all the time, and you'll get different pronunciations, different announcers. So
Perfect.
you'll get Sevastova, Sevastova, Pliskova. So it's not like anybody's getting these right.
Oh, we got
Yes.
Stevie Boyton in the chat. Royals
Yeah.
gonna smash tonight. Love to see that. Always love to
Yeah.
see that. Um, yeah, so like she's 8,100 on DraftKings. Gosh, I think she's going to be a popular play.
Yeah.
Uh, and if you like her, I'm definitely on.
All right. Let's.
Ostapinko, what about her? So like
So that's my favorite player. She's my
okay,
absolutely favorite player. I'm a little biased here. My general feeling here is you always just for betting, not necessarily for DFS, because she's actually been crushing this week on DFS. I saw her in the winning lineup as well, and I put her in there as more for fun. I didn't think it was a great play, but now she's going against Tom Lanovich, who's been playing quite well lately. And I hate to say it from a betting perspective, I think the plus 222 has value there. I think that it should have been like minus 180. She's minus 280, but I guess it makes sense. Ostapenko's coming off that win in Eastbourne where she played fantastic. She had a great win over Kasakina yesterday, where she won 8-6 in the third. Really showing some mental toughness, which has been kind of an issue for her, where she'll once she starts to lose, she'll really start to spray and get just too many unforced errors. She seems to be holding it together a little more. I'm not going to bet it personally, but I don't think that you could lay it at that price. I think that Isla has value there at plus 222.
gotcha. Um, did we touch on the ladies that Matty Ice was talking about?
No, let's do that one now. So Magda Linette, who's a player that I had really been underrating, has really come into. She's kind of come into form under the radar this year because she doesn't have any big wins at the big tournaments, but she's been advancing more consistently, playing, getting the more wins that she should, slowly making her way up the rankings. Unfortunately for her, she's going against a woman that has done the opposite. I mean, not the opposite, but improved on the big stage, getting attention, and that's Paula Badosa, who had an absolutely fantastic clay court swing. I was on her in the French. She fell short, but what a great advancement for her career so far. So I like Badosa here at minus 179 or the minus 3, but Lynette is so tough to count out here. But I do think there's a little bit of value on the favorite here. Maddie, what did you think about that? I just think it's really hard to go against Badosa right now the way she's playing.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't have an opinion. I'm not familiar with
Yeah,
either one of those games, but I was trying to make a little for DFS purposes, very GPP ish. But if we go with uh, let's see, who's the upset? The upset was Sinikova. Is that how you say it?
Siniakova, yeah.
Siniakova. So 5,200. Then we go Badosa, and then who was the other one you liked? Krejcikova.
Yeah, Krejcikova.
Can we do a show where it's just like get me, get who else is bad at pronouncing names? All of us that are bad at pronouncing names, and
Yeah,
go through here and pronounce every single player's name, and then we'll go to hockey and do the same thing. That'd
yeah,
be a fun show. So if you do that, you got 9,400 left per position. If you can get that upset, I don't mind that. It allows you to get Roger. It allows you to get. I mean, yeah, Roger. You got to think he's actually pretty cheap. He's only 9,100. Coco
I
Goff.
think
I
I
mean, you
think
got to
that's
think
for a
she
good
rolls, right?
reason, though. I think that Nori will give him some problems. I wonder if he's going to be in the cash lineup tomorrow at 9,100.
I bet he would be. I mean, we'll talk with Susie, but
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, now's the time when we get to 16 matches. I like to like go in and then randomly put these upsets in there. Like go with a nice core of players, but build around flip flop, mix and match. It usually is the route that I have a lot of success with. What about Coco Goff? I mean, is she just steamrolling? Uh, you
yeah,
know, uh,
and she's improved her serve so much. She actually has the fastest serve on the women's side this year. When you see how hard Sabalenka hits, it's just unbelievable that she's able to pull it off. She had a 120-mile-an-hour serve. Sabalenka was second at 119. Um, uh, Matty Ice says that maybe we take a shot at Magda there, but not in a single bullet. That's if you did a bunch of them. I'm building like a quick one right now. I like Bublik and Oh wait, that's Sevastova at that price. I want Krejcikova at 8,100. That's still I'm still I like having Bublik in there tomorrow. FAA at 7,900. What's Kyrgios at? Kyrgios is going to get you so many aces that he can actually help you ship in a loss. Would you agree with that?
Uh, I mean, I mean, it would need to go 5 sets. I don't know. I mean, it helps, but I don't think it helps as much as you're thinking in
Okay.
DFS.
Okay.
And I'm not, I'd be curious to see what Matty Ice and Susie think.
Yeah.
I'm not sweating it and grinding it, as much as I used to, but we're still at the point where I think you want, you want all win upside. Like I think there's enough value in there to potentially make it work. But
Yeah.
if we get a slate where it's kind of just one of those slates where there isn't a lot of upsets, and then you need that, but there is enough salary to get all those guys in. Yeah, that could be a spot to where maybe a 5 set match with a ton of aces helps you out.
Yeah. And one thing I did notice that
Yeah, like
from doing
Matty
the
Ice said,
NBA,
all the faves would have to win. Yeah.
yeah. From doing NBA, I started to really like the stars and scrubs builds, but it seems like what's cashing here more in the tennis is the balance builds. You find the balance players, you get them all in, and then you sweep with all wins, rather than trying to grab like a huge upset and then getting like the three top players on the board. So, like Zverev's the most expensive player tomorrow at 10-7. I would be quite fine leaving him out of my lineup there against Fritz. I would actually rather have Berrettini at 10-5 rather than
I
Zverev
mean,
there.
in spread, you make a good point, but the reason I was so interested in your thoughts on Siniakova is if she were to upset, like everyone's going to balance build route. If you
Yeah,
get that upset right, no one's going to play her against Ashley Barty.
right.
Um, you're going to be different, and you're going to set yourself up to win. It was like a lot of our guys had Typho, or some of our guys had Typho in that first round
Yeah,
match that he was in, and so it tees you up to put yourself in a position to win. Since everyone the popular route is definitely going to be to go bounce.
yeah. So that'll definitely be something to work on. So, hey, Pete, thank you for hanging out today. We'll definitely be looking forward to seeing when Susie gets on. Um, oh, he's asking about the Pavlyuchenko Muhova match tomorrow. He says that's where the slate will be won. I like Muhova there, but Pavlyuchenkova has been playing so well. That was so hard. I actually kind of scratched it off because I didn't think I had an edge. Muhova's minus 143 there, plus 117 for Pavlyuchenkova, who's been playing the best tennis of her career. Muhova obviously on the come up. Obviously, I think the surface favors Muhova a tad, but it's not a huge edge here. Minus 1.5 and a total of 22. I think you're right, Maddie, that might be where the slate's won, and I'm torn too. I would lean Muhova, but I don't necessarily love that pick, and I won't be betting. But
Who who do you think is going to win it all for the women's side?
right now, I think if you were to make a bet, the value's on Coco. I think that the way that she's
Okay.
improved, the way that she's serving, and the fact that she's basically just playing with house money at this point, I really think that she's got a great value to win it all. Ash Barty, if she can keep healthy, is going to be tough to beat here. Um,
What about Karolina Pliskova? Do you think she has any chance at all?
yes, I do. Maddie likes Iga. I
She's
I worry about Iga on grass with Pliskova. She never comes through in the big tournaments, though. She always seems to
right.
find a way to like blow it in the semifinals or the finals. So it's really hard to back her. But the way this field is so open this year, I mean, I guess it wouldn't be the most surprising thing, but probably not. I don't think I'd put any money on her.
What about, or is Madison Keys? Oh, she's going right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Keys always
all
has a
things.
shot, but she's
Yeah,
another one that always makes the semifinals and then seems to flame out in the semifinals. That's why I always bet Keys to win the quarter and never to win the whole tournament, unless it's a smaller tournament there. So
gotcha.
yeah. Anyways, this was a lot of fun, AP. Thank you for
Yeah,
joining me today. You know, we won't do a best bet segment like usual, but what I think we should do is maybe we'll I'll coordinate with JJ, Matty Ice, Susie, and we'll do some more content next week, especially because we would only potentially 2 NBA shows next week, with
Yep.
either the final starting Tuesday or Thursday. But assuming the Hawks win tomorrow night, which we both kind of lean to happen, means there'll be no NBA for us on Tuesday. Maybe we'll get together and try to do a show then. So thank you for hanging out. Everybody, thank you for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Head on over to runpurebets.com. Check out all the great sports betting content we have to offer. For example, if you are a member, you will have access to Keg Live this weekend, where he's going to go live for NASCAR in the morning. I'm going to be chilling. I won't be on that show, but I will be joining him at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 my time, for Game 6 of the Atlanta Hawks and the Milwaukee Bucks tomorrow night. Then he's going to come back and give you another show on Sunday, on 4th of July, for the NASCAR. So there's so much great content there. Of course, you'll also get the NASCAR previews, the UFC previews, Joy Works MLB, and JJ's MLB. And those videos have been fantastic. If you're not even a member and you're just catching the free content, they've both been putting out winners at it's impressively consistent basis there for Joey and JJ. So great things going on over at Run Pure Bets. Please check out the content. AP, thank you for hanging out, and we will be back tomorrow with Tyler to preview Game 6. Thank you, everybody, and